Okay, let's try this again. I just recorded a whole video to show you guys how to use this. Unfortunately, the audio didn't pick up, so now here I am starting over. This one's going to be a little shorter, but we'll get through all the important stuff. Okay, so this is just going to be a quick run through, show you how to use this build. It's really simple. I really like the new setup, the new skin. It's pretty light. Looks nice. It's easy to navigate. So let's jump right in. Okay. You see the main systems down here? If you click on these, it's not going to do you any good because they don't do anything. You have to go to the sub menu. You can see the little indicator that shows you to push down. You can push down or up. It's going to bring you up here. Okay. Each one of these systems, if you click here at the top where it has the name, it'll take you to a list of every game for that system. Click on a game here, click launch, it's going to download it and launch it. Pretty simple, right? Okay. Now I want to show you something else. Once you launch a game, if you press select and X, it's going to bring up this settings menu. It'll let you reset the game because sometimes the save state, well, not sometimes. When you exit a game, the save state, it'll always save your game right where you were. So when you start it again, it'll load that save state up automatically. If you don't want to start from there and you want to start from the beginning, start a new game or whatever, you click reset and it'll put you back at the beginning. No big deal. Video filter, you can go in here and you can change from pixelate to smooth. That's a preference thing, whichever one you like. Unfortunately, there's no real scan lines working. They've supposedly been trying to get that fixed for like 2 versions of Kodi now, but whatever. They don't work. Okay. Stretch mode. So you can have normal, you can have 4:3 stretch, you can have full screen, and you can have original size. That, again, preference. I just go with normal. Rotation, I don't know why anybody would want to use that. Controls, you can go in and set the controls for this emulator. In advanced settings, you can go into the actual emulator settings and change things in here to make it perform differently. That's up to you. I'm not going to mess with anything, and nor am I going to support people messing with things in here because it can get pretty tricky. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here that I don't even know what it's for. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the menu. From this menu, if you don't like the look of it, you can change the look of it however you want. Just press right on the D-pad, go to view, and you can see all your different view options here. Change it to whichever one you like. Again, preference. You can mess with that however you want. My preference is Media Info 2. Okay. Each system has several game systems, or, you know, under Nintendo, you've got all these. Now, what you see here down below, these are a best of list. Not every system has a best of list, but if it is available, it will be here. You can click on a game directly from here. Click launch and play it. Same things apply, okay? So we've got all these. Nintendo. We've got Sega. Everything you see here. Got Atari. 2600, 7800 links. Unfortunately, I couldn't get ST or 5200 working properly. NEC, you've got PC Engine CD and TurboGrafx 16. SuperGrafx, I could not get to work correctly again, so we won't have that option. Arcade, you have Final Burn Neo and Best of Arcade. The Final Burn Neo should pretty much work 100% because it uses the Final Burn Neo emulator. Now the issue with Internet Archive Game Launcher, which is what runs this whole front end, is that it'll only give you certain list options. So it'll give you 2003, it'll give you 2015. 2003 doesn't work very good. 2015, Kodi doesn't have an emulator for that version. So I went through and tested, and the one that works most often is Final Burn Neo as an emulator. But it doesn't work for every game. You will find some games that don't want to load up. That's just how it is. Nothing I can do about it. I apologize, but that's what you get. These games load up and work pretty well. Same thing with the menu. You can go in and adjust your controller settings and all of that, right? We got Sony, PlayStation, PSP, PSP Minis. PSP and PSP Minis are going to require an external emulator setup, as well as Nintendo 64 also requires an external emulator. We'll get into that later. I'm not going to bother with it right now. That sounds like a completely separate video. We got computers. I put everything in here that I could get to work correctly. All the BIOS and everything are included. There's a lot more systems I wish I could have included. DOS, Windows 3.0, Amiga. For some reason, the emulators just aren't playing nice with the game downloads. So those are no longer available. Okay, we got hacks. Under hacks, you're going to find hacks and translations. You got NES hacks, SNES hacks, Game Boy Advance hacks, and then you have translations for each of those, which the translations are just going to be Japanese games that are ported to English. And the same thing, you got Genesis hacks, Genesis translations. Okay, Venom is going to be for movies and TV. As long as you have a Real to Brit account and you're logged in, this will work really well. Now, I'm not going to support it going forward. If this add-on stops working, you're going to have to use YouTube or just Google it and find another add-on and follow the instructions to install a new add-on. Okay. This is just a little bonus. As long as it works, and that's cool, and you guys can enjoy that. But don't come to me and say, "Oh, Venom stopped working. You need to fix it," because I'm not gonna. That's gonna be up to you. Now, if you go and get a Real to Brit account, you can come here and click Real to Brit and go log in, and that will enable all of this to work. It works really well. You can get full 4K streams. Everything works great, but you absolutely have to have Real to Brit or it won't even try and load up. Okay, we have settings, power. These will work if you click on them. If you click on power, you can click exit. That's the correct way to exit the system. Okay. Under settings, there's various things in here you can do if you want to mess with the look of it. Again, if you mess it up, that's on you, but it's going to be under skin settings. Customize the home menu. And then you get to go through and you can change submenus, add and remove items, change the background. For the Windows setup, you may have to go back in and choose each background. Again, we'll get into that after we test it. I have it all included. It's in, and there is a source for it. It's just because the only reason it might not work is because of this user's Dean CV at the beginning. Obviously, that's not going to be a file path on your computer, but there's nothing I can do about that.
Patty.
Now we've got what else? Okay. If you need to change Internet Archive game launcher settings for anything. If you want to try and fool with some systems that I removed because they're not working, you want to put in your archive account so you can download some of the systems that won't allow you to without the login. It's really none that are really important. MSX, MSX2, things like that. But if you try to click a game and it says, I don't know, it'll say something about failed to download, then what the reason is because you need an archive account. So you're going to go to my add-ons, my add-ons, game add-ons, game providers, Internet Archive game launcher, and then you're going to go to configure, and all your options are going to be in here. Now there's a few things you can do here. Okay, you can go, let's see. Oh, cache size. Okay. I have this set to 10 gigabytes. Why is it doing that? Right here. I have it set to 10 gigabytes. You can set it to whatever you want. Let's see how far. It only goes up to 64. So you can keep 64 gigabytes worth of games. With most of these retro games, they're so small, 10 gigabytes is going to be more than you'll ever play. Or you can set it to 0, and that'll make it like if you have a Fire Stick or something, it won't use any storage. It'll only allow you to store one game at a time. If you have something that's low on storage, doesn't have very much storage, this is the setting you're going to want to use. It's going to come default with 10 gigabytes though, so it'll be important to watch this video to see how to do that. If you go to download options, wow, okay, you can put your login stuff here. I'm going to clear mine out. Okay, you just click on this, it'll let you log in with your archive credentials, then you can test to make sure it logged in, and then you can download the systems that it wouldn't let you before. Unless you need it, I would recommend not using it because the build is faster without it. Your download speeds for big stuff might be faster with the login, but on most systems, when you go to click on a game, it'll log you in each time, and you have to wait for the website to respond before you can download the game, and it takes a second. If you're not logged in, it's much faster. But that's going to be up to you. There's other things in here you can mess with, net play, stuff like that. I don't know how that works. But for the most part, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The build should be working. You shouldn't need to mess with any of that stuff. I just wanted to show you this just in case. There's other settings in here, controller settings and things like that. Excuse my dogs. Sorry about that.
My dad.
Apologize. Rogue, that's enough. Rogue, Rogue, Rogue. That's it.